Hi, this is Morley, and this is the M-Wire. So a black college professor has written a book, and he calls for white people to be gassed and blown up. I'm going to attempt to put into words for what there are no words for. Does he realize by his statement that he's literally just spit in the face of over 6 million people that perished in the Holocaust? Does he get it? I think he does get it, but he just doesn't care. That is absolutely reprehensible. These are the college professors teaching higher education in colleges and universities. I can't even mentally process this, folks. Let's get really real here for a second. If this were a white college professor saying that about black people, he would be fired, he would be charged with a hate crime, he'd have probably about 500 BLM supporters surrounding his house, and probably his house would be burned down. And that's just for starters. The double standard that our society has now is just simply disgusting. I'm having a hard time finding words for it. Saying nothing of the fact, like, how could you even find a publisher that would even publish this garbage? Like, this is just sick already, okay? Like, I mean beyond sick. You're calling for the murder of an entire race of people. Well, as we know, there was a certain political uprising in Germany in the 30s that did that, and we all know how that ended. And the reason that they publish things about the Holocaust is so it never happens again. And here we have a college professor, inciting this. And he's also insinuating that there's a coming race war. So he's inciting war as well. I just, for the life of me, cannot understand how this guy even still has a job. I'm just totally revolted by this, but let's get into the particulars of this article. Black college professor says whites should be blown up and gassed. Incoming race war. Ben Phillippe, a term assistant professor of English at Barnard College in New York City, has written a book in which he fantasizes about locking white people in a room and gassing them to death, just like the Nazis did to World War II prisoners. Speaking to NPR's Talia Schlanger during a recent interview, Phillippe spoke about his anti-white hatred, which involves detonating white people while toxic gas spews out of ventilation systems and killing them. When this race war hits its crescendo, I'll gather you all in a beautifully decorated room under the pretense of unity. Phillippe joked about how he wants to trick white people into believing that his life matters in order to mass execute them by locking them in a room. I'll give a speech to civility and all the good times we share. I'll smile as we raise glasses to your good white health, while the detonator blinks under the table, knowing the exits are locked and the air vents filled with gas. Phillippe further revealed about what he plans to do to white people. Schlanger, a Jewish woman, told Phillippe that she was speechless upon reading his particular passage in his book, especially since her grandparents survived the Holocaust. In order to be politically correct, though, Schlanger proceeded to apologize to Phillippe for whatever caused him to feel this way. I wanted to say that I'm so sorry that your experience of the world made you feel that way, she pandered. I'm surprised that she's not absolutely outraged at this. I think she's a lot more outraged than she appears to be, but she's essentially just trying to be nice at this point. What kind of self-respecting white person would be friends with someone like Phillippe? Phillippe, meanwhile, continues to culturally appropriate both his English and its English department, neither of which are the result of black contributions to the world. The fact that this street thug even teaches English is a travesty. One wonders what the black community and all leftist white allies would do if Barnard hired an Amish housewife to teach its African studies program. At least in the scenario that the Amish housewife probably would not be writing books about blowing black people up and gassing them to death. I guess I was wrestling with that question that isn't the end result all-out warfare, Phillippe pondered during an interview, like Game of Thrones style warfare, and what does that look like? And I lived in that short of stray thought for a few pages. In an attempt to cover his heinous feelings, Phillippe further claims that he had a hard time writing said passage in his book because he is supposedly not a violent person. He also added that he loves all his white friends. Mic drop. It makes me wonder if he is harboring such violent fantasies how white people could even be friends with someone like Phillippe, so it is just hard to believe that he was being serious with his admission. Perhaps he was just trying to save face while speaking out of both sides of his mouth. According to his faculty page, Phillippe got a Bachelor of Arts from Columbia University. He went to get a Master's of Fine Arts at the University of Texas at Austin. Phillippe also has written articles for Vanity Fair and Observer. Phillippe was not even born in the United States. He was born in Haiti and raised in Montreal. He then went on somehow to become a professor despite being a racist. This is who is teaching your children, America. Be warned. This is absolutely beyond reprehensible that even this book got published. People, please share this video. People have to find out, the backgrounds of people teaching in universities these days, because this is what they're teaching your kids. If you don't speak up now, there won't be a tomorrow to speak up. Thank you so much for coming along with me to my video. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And God bless.